Support for this podcast comes from the St. Alphonsus Neuroscience Institute, offering technology to provide treatment for neurological, neurosurgical, and neurointerventional conditions. This includes a dedicated neurotrauma ICU for critical care of the brain or spine and a 24/7 stroke team. More at stalphonsus.org.
Hi, Scandalized listeners. Charlie and Jackie here with a really exciting announcement.
We're coming back to Podfort in 2026. We'll be live at the Boise Contemporary Theater on Friday, March 27th at 3 p.m.
This year, we're going to be digging into some of the juiciest fashion faux pas in American politics. You won't want to miss it.
We'd love to see our amazing listeners, so bring your friends and come talk scandals with us. And best of all, it's free.
That's Friday, March 27th at 3 p.m. from the Boise Contemporary Theater. See you then.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. We have a report with very emotional testimony, both pro and con, regarding kratom, and Bogus Basin says goodbye to another season. It is the 20th of March. We have a lot to share with you. Here are today's stories. In the shadow of the sudden death of Nampa Mayor Rick Hogaboam, the Nampa City Council met in an emergency session yesterday. This coming after Hogaboam had been struck with a medical emergency while he was speaking at a public gathering Wednesday night. Yesterday at Nampa City Hall, the mood, as expected, was of shock and sadness.
We need to appoint an interim person to guide and continue to fulfill the immediate needs and duties of mayor.
This is Nampa Council President David Bill, so he will oversee operations temporarily until the council appoints a new mayor, and that process begins immediately.
We will be due diligent in terms of seeking and discussing and talking to different individuals in terms of selection of mayor.
So the person chosen by the council would serve as mayor for nearly 2 years. Meanwhile, the Ada County coroner said Thursday that Hogaboam's death could be linked to a buildup of fluid that prevented the heart from pumping blood properly. The city of Nampa has announced a memorial service for Tuesday, March 31st at 5 p.m. at the Ford Idaho Center. And Governor Little has ordered flags to be flown at half-staff through the weekend. At the Capitol, the public hearings concerning kratom, the plant-based substance that promises energy, relaxation, and relief. Well, the hearings thus far have included some of the most emotional testimony, not just of this session, but of any session in recent memory. We have brought you multiple reports on whether Idaho will join 6 states and D.C., which currently have full bans of kratom, and a kratom ban is the current bill before Idaho's Health and Welfare Committee. Thursday was the second of 2 very long meetings where lawmakers heard from both sides of the kratom debate, beginning with an Idaho mom talking about her young daughter's overdose.
Kylie died at 23 years old of acute migraine intoxication, the primary active component of kratom. Kylie trusted the word natural. She used natural kratom power because it was marketed as a safe herbal option for pain.
We've heard testimony portraying kratom as a cure-all, offering relaxation, energy, pain relief, and more. We've heard these similar claims before. The pattern is familiar. We heard it with spice. We heard it with bath salt. Substances that are marketed as harmless, even beneficial, only for the long-term consequences to emerge later.
And the second voice you heard there was Tracy Bastarachea, Chief of Police in Meridian, and also representative of the Idaho Police Chiefs Association. The Department of Health and Welfare confirms that more than 80 Idahoans have died from a kratom-related overdose in the past 4 years. But yesterday, there were a good many supporters of kratom. They say they use it for depression, pain, and much more than what is promised on the label.
Kratom saved my life, plain and simple. It is not a dangerous new drug. I use it every day.
It has helped me with my pain. It has helped with anxiety. And I'm sorry, but 86 deaths in 4 years. It seems like it's a bit extreme, and history will repeat itself.
Kratom is something that we sat on the sidelines a long time for, so we didn't bring it in until recently when we have had more and more customers asking for it. So we did our research, we did our homework into it.
And the last voice you heard there was Doug Fall, representing Jackson Stores. Jackson sells kratom at 18 of its Idaho locations. So lawmakers heard a fair amount of personal stories this week, but recognizing that they had gone hours already without too much expert testimony, legislators said they were still anxious to hear from doctors and coroners about kratom.
But to say that somebody who overdoses on an opioid like heroin and somehow has a heart attack didn't, die from the heroin, right? Like, that's what causes the heart attack. Just a lot of the testimony here seemed very self-serving. I love this, I need this, I want this, so don't take it away. Well, what about the mother who lost her daughter? The testimonies we heard of people who were misled or deceived by labels.
I realize we are running out of time, but we know that in this building, when we truly want something, we can make it happen. I have seen the benefits. I've also seen the risks. So I just think we need more time.
And there were Representatives Ben Furman and Dory Healy. So members of the House Health and Welfare Committee decided to hold the bill, promising to pick it up again next week. All that as they also got word yesterday that still another kratom bill was about to surface on the Senate side, and that could be introduced as early as today, again, on the Senate side. A bill that would have redefined Idaho's criminal child neglect laws died in committee yesterday. James Dawson has details.
The bill would have allowed a parent to be charged with child neglect only if they didn't seek medical care for a life-threatening condition. Anything less than a life-threatening condition, and parents could have chosen to seek medical advice from anyone, even if that person had no medical training. Republican Representative Lucas Kaler sponsors the bill. He says a parent's right to make medical decisions must be respected unless a child is in danger.
These people are being charged with medical neglect based upon falsehoods.
Republican Representative Dory Healy led the push to squash the measure. As a registered nurse, she says medical situations can quickly go from bad to worse.
When you look at a child's life, we've heard it a couple of times now, children in the really technical world crumple very quickly.
The House Health and Welfare Committee torpedoed the bill, which cannot be reconsidered this year in its current form. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
Bogus Basin is closing early. They're closing Sunday after one of the warmest winters on record. High temperatures have hindered the resort's experimental snow blanket program that it rolled out a year ago. Jamie Geary tells us more.
Last April, the resort made a pile of snow and covered it under a giant insulated blanket. The technology from Finland preserved the snow over the summer. Bogus bought more of the blankets, but this latest warm winter means the program is scaling back.
The situation with Snow Secure is that obviously it's not designed to be completely done on machine-made snow, and it's no secret that this season has been lackluster in terms of natural snowfall.
That's Austin Smith, Basin's Director of Innovation. He says there's not enough natural snow this year to save as much as they planned for.
So we worked out a deal with Snow Secure to, sell back or not purchase one whole system and a handful of additional panels of a system.
Those blankets are going to other ski resorts. Smith says Basin plans to store the snow that's still on the ground as mountain temperatures are too warm to make artificial snow. Jamie Geary, Boise State Public Radio News.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. You stay informed when you stay connected. And we're here for you 24/7 at BoiseStatePublicRadio.org and with the Boise State Public Radio app. I'll be here Monday. I hope you will too. Thanks for listening.